Well, it's time to head into the final areas of Himuro Mansion. Before we do that, though, I think we have gotten quite a bit of usage out of the Type 37 film, and we do have something of a stockpile of the more powerful films. So let's go ahead and switch over to the Type 74, as I get a feeling that it might be good to have something a little bit more powerful for what lies ahead. Now, this particular area, which is, I think, called Hell's Pass, is not actually an entirely new area, but it's one we have been relatively near before. By examining the back wall of the cavern here, we actually see that it's not so much a wall as it's a cave-in. And this is actually where Miku saw Mafuyu back in, I think, the end of night 2 or 3. But that means that we are actually heading on our way to the room of the strangling ritual, which means that things are going to get a little bit bumpy. But our fights are not over with the lower spectrum of Ghost. We do have to fight the floating man and floating woman one final time. But in this particular environment, they definitely have the advantage, as they have plenty of vertical movement. And honestly, trying to fight both of them at once is actually a pretty difficult task. And that's why pretty much at this point in the game, it's actually best just to forget about trying to get the shudder moments and just really trying to kill at least one of them as quickly as possible. Because the floating woman here really shows off just how difficult it can be to really get a good bead on these particular ghosts in this room. Good thing is that the stronger film definitely shows off why it was good to stockpile it. Though stronger film doesn't really help when you don't have the best aim. The good thing is that even on this narrow walkway here, there are thankfully invisible walls, making sure that we don't accidentally walk over the edge to our deaths. Well, let's go ahead and pick up the item back here. There it is. It's just some more Type 37 film. But you may also have been hearing a little bit of static as we were walking along this, this rock bridge, and it is a hidden ghost. But here on the ground we do find another note from Mafuyu himself. And this one is mysteriously actually directed straight at Miku. It seems that Mafuyu has actually been seeing us as we have been going through the different nights, and he is just, well, basically feeding us information we already knew regarding Kirie, the Calamity, the Malice, and the dire straits that we're in pretty much right now. The only thing new that he does fill us in on is that apparently the little girl we've been seeing is actually the split-off spirit of Kirie.
Stop.
And upon finding the final horrible resting place of Kirie, we do get assaulted by not Kirie herself, but actually the shrine maiden that we fought at the end of the previous night. But not too difficult to deal with, especially with our upgraded film and camera. It's actually a pretty slow ghost, and that is a pretty easy pattern to get down. It'll just automatically pop up behind you, and just spinning around and looking down will allow you to get a pretty easy shutter chance. But we see here the mechanism to draw and quarter the rope shrine maiden, where her final moments of torture would lead to the binding ropes to seal the gate. And wouldn't you know, a place of torment would have a hidden ghost waiting. And this is actually one we have seen before. Yeah, it's that ghostly spirit that we've seen occasionally sitting on the back of Kirie. Also, over in the corner here, in case you do need it, there is a stone mirror. Actually be pretty useful, especially for an upcoming fight that we will be having. But we do have another herbal medicine, and we also have a hidden away item over here behind this column. Another spirit stone. But if we take a look down this pathway here, we see a number of decimated Shinto gates. Definitely looks like something really tore through here with a vengeance. Also, we get a surprise attack from the Shrine Maiden yet again. This time, though, she has definitely not slowed down and instead has decided to just go full tilt at us. Now, while this isn't really a difficult fight in the least, I figured, well, I got Spirit Stones, I might as well use them. Also just love the sound work they had in addition to the Shrine Maiden, with the sound of the ropes binding and pulling and their poor tortured screams. But before the door we do get yet a final note from Mafuyu. Here he goes into something that I've kind of hinted at before, but it's the odd coincidence that their grandmother Makoto happens to share the same name with the folklore's daughter Makoto, who went missing. We also got mentions of this with the old newspaper where the girl was found in the mountains while her parents had gone missing. Obviously we know this is a strong connection, especially with the camera itself, but just in case you had missed it over the course of the game, they just kind of pull it all together at the end here. Also, we get another sacred water. And just taking a quick look at our inventory, we do have plenty of sacred water, so no reason why we shouldn't go ahead and refill our health and steel ourselves for the final room of the game. So our long journey has finally come to an end. We've come to the actual door leading into the underworld itself that the rope shrine maiden strangling ritual would normally have kept shut. You see that it is literally covered in just so many talismans to try to keep back the evil. But obviously the door is ajar, and if we try to go too close, we can actually see that we're blocked due to the fact that Miku does sense that the malice is just pouring out. Also, if we look at this particular rock here, we do see that there is an indentation where it does appear that something is missing.
Mafuyu!
We will always be
So, with Mafuyu consumed by the malice-filled Kirie, it's time to upgrade ourselves to the highest level of film that we have, as we will be needing the maximum amount of damage during this fight. And we will be now fighting the final boss of the game, the highly dangerous but very slow malice-filled Kirie. Now, a couple things to explain about this fight. Much like before, one hit from her, one little touch, will actually instantly kill Miku. Now, she doesn't move very fast, she doesn't really teleport that much. The problem is that you actually can only hit her whenever you're at full damage, or whenever your power meter is up to maximum. Now that can be a bit of a danger considering how much she does phase in and out and how occasionally the earthquake will throw you off, but, well, when you're using type 90, the fight really isn't that hard.
It's the last piece of the mirror.
And for some honestly completely inexplicable reason, inside the smashed camera obscura, we actually find the final mirror piece for the Holy Mirror. As to how it got there, it's never going to be explained, but it's a good thing that it was, because apparently we wouldn't be able to defeat Kirie in any other way.
Mafuyu, thank goodness.
Don't forget your duty.
My duty is to keep this gate closed. escape to me. The rest of you, hurry and escape.
But what about you?
I must stop the Calamity, or else it will happen again. Don't worry about me. You must go.
Mafuyu, come on!
Miku. I must stay.
What are you saying?
I think I can help her. Miku, you go on without me. Miku. The whole time Kirie was guiding me, I could hear her screaming. Screaming for help. As the rope shrine maiden, she was destined to seal the gate. Yet she also wanted to be with the one she loved. But she couldn't have both, and was being torn apart by those two feelings, which resulted in the Calamity. Her spirit was touched by the malice, and she became a creature that wanted to make others suffer as she had. Now free of the malice, she is about to fulfill her duty as the rope shrine maiden. Her soul must remain here, keeping this gate sealed off for all eternity. All alone. Endless pain. As long as she is free of pain, as long as she is not left hopeless, I wish to be by her side. Miku.
Mafuyu. Look, their souls are all going back to where they belong.
Miku. I now realize why I was brought here. And I will accept this destiny of mine. Miku. Thank you for everything.
Ever since that day, I stopped seeing things that other people don't see.
Now, while that is a romantic and bittersweet ending, there is actually a different ending if you do beat the game on the Nightmare difficulty. Let's go ahead and see the differences in that.
duty is to keep this gate closed. Leave this gate to me. The rest of you, hurry and escape.
But what about you?
I must stop the Calamity, or else it will happen again. Don't worry about me. You must go.
Mafuyu, come on! Their souls are all going back to where they belong.
Kirie. She was always struggling for life. Her soul must remain there, keeping the gates sealed off for all eternity. She had to sacrifice everything. These souls may rest in peace, but her soul will always suffer, forever and ever.
Ever since that day, we stopped seeing things that other people don't see.
And there you have it. Those are the two PS2 endings for Fatal Frame 1. There is an additional ending that I will be linking to in the thread for the Xbox version of the game, but it's actually not that massively different. And if you're wondering which is actually the canonical ending, it's actually the one where Mafuyu dies. Yeah, in, I think, Fatal Frame 3, we actually do run into the ghostly figure of Mafuyu, but I'll be covering that a bit more when we actually get to that particular game. But some pretty difficult life lessons to really take away from Fatal Frame 1. We have to look at the fact that even though Kirie's life was nothing but enslavement and torture and isolation, she was still pretty much required to sacrifice herself for the greater good, only because she had been put in that situation by her family and its weird Shinto rituals. But this is not going to be the final update. There is going to be a bonus video where we show off the additional outfits in the battle mode, so hopefully you'll join me for that. And join me for the next LP, which is probably going to be Fatal Frame 2. So, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you then.